Hello, everybody.
Sorry. Hello. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay.
You are good.
Welcome to Writing Games for NanoWriMo. I'm Erin Petrie, and I'm from the Kingwood Branch Library. I'm a Children's Services Librarian, and we're happy to have you.
I'm Jennifer Finch. I'm the branch manager at the Spring Branch Memorial Branch, and it's been a long month where I did not get writing done.
Yeah, it's been a bit busy for me too, but tonight we're gonna do a strong finish. So in case you are here and you didn't know, NanoWriMo is a challenge that people complete every November. It's a challenge to write 50,000 words and attempt to finish a novel in 1 month.
If you haven't signed up yet, it's a little late, but go ahead and check out the Nano website or the Young Writers Program website and sign up, because they don't just do events in November, they also do events in July and in April, which are called Camp NanoWriMo, which the goal is just a little bit less than a full novel and might seem a little less intimidating.
So for today, we're gonna try to finish out strong, and if your inspiration is flagging, we're going to be playing some writing games. So for today's games, it might help you to have a piece of paper and a 6-sided die. If you don't have them, you can still follow along because I have several for everybody, but it might be more fun for you if you do. And any excuse to take out your dice, right?
In the chat, please tell us what you're writing. Also, we'd love your help in brainstorming for one of our upcoming games. Please give us 2 adjectives that describe an object, a time frame, a setting, and an object.
So, okay, sorry. So some examples for objects or adjectives to describe objects are things like small or green or old or rusty. And then, the object could be a teapot. I have some tea right in front of me. I'm very tea focused right now. Laptop, so.
Creaky rocking chair.
Yes. So we're going to be mixing those up later. So give us your silliest words.
And according to Logan, who's our moderator for this event, Google has a virtual dice, and so you can just type virtual dice into Google and it should pop up.
That's good to know.
Thank you, Logan. All right. So let's see. Today, I was supposed to be working on a fan fiction novel, and honestly, November just kind of got away with me with work and having to do stuff at home and just overall exhaustion, and it just didn't happen this year. Although this is the first year I've even attempted to sign up for it. So even though I didn't really write anything, I actually at least signed up.
I feel like any words you write, anything you do, even when I was slightly younger, I would be sitting somewhere and my mother would be like, "Hey, can you do whatever chore?" And I'm like, "I can't right now, I'm writing." And she's like, "You're not writing, you're sitting on your bed and staring out the window." But that is writing. Even if you're thinking about writing, you're going in the right direction. So I think it's always a good idea to try, even if you don't always meet all your goals. Because I think I probably wrote about 5,000 words this month, but better than nothing. So
let's see. Well, we aren't really getting any words from any of you, but we can go ahead and just work on some from our own.
We can come up with some words.
Yeah.
And if you tune in and you'd like to add some words, we can add them as we go. It's fine. That's the last game, so we got some time.
All right. Well, our next game is called Poetry Poker. Would you like to explain, Erin?
Oh, is that? I thought we were doing.
That's what's on my script.
Whoops. No, first, I think. Okay, this is the icebreaker. So next slide.
Okay.
Okay, the first thing we're doing is our warm up, which is speed dating. I'm sorry about the script.
Hey, you did the work. I'm riding along on this train.
So we're going to speed date with our characters, and
all right, so let's ask some questions to get to know them. All right, so the first thing you probably need to know is have a character in mind for this. A character in your story, or a character, for me, I'm going to do fan fiction, so it's going to be a character that I'm already kind of familiar with. The goal of this is really to make you know what your character is going to say. So you're going to ask them questions that you would ask similar to in a speed dating thing. So what makes you happy? What makes you sad? Angry? What did you do last weekend? What song best sums you up? I have no idea how to answer that for myself, so what would your ideal holiday destination be? That's a good one. I like that one.
Yeah, and these were picked off of a list of questions that have been suggested for things that you could ask if you were on a speed date. So while some of them are,
if you're speed dating somebody, don't ask them something about what song best sums you up, because that will take them a long time to think up an answer, and you won't get a chance to ask them any other question.
The thing that is interesting about that one in particular to me, though, is that I'm like, my characters aren't probably self-aware enough to know what song would sum them up, and it's because like most of them, like what would actually sum them up is something that's like, you know, angsty about their inner turmoil and the fact that they have like, you know, relationship problems. But what they'd say that sums them up would be something like, you know, about partying, or like, you know, having a wild time. I don't even know what they would say sums them up, but it wouldn't be the thing that I think sums them up.
Well, one of the main characters in my the fan fiction that I'm working on is Bucky Barnes from the Marvel Captain America's character. And because I would pick him for this because I feel like I know, I understand him the least. So I feel like this would be a good exercise in me getting to know this character. And I'm like, as far as the song, I really don't think he'd know. And that's partially due to partial amnesia. So maybe It's All Coming Back to Me Now by Celine Dion.
Oh my. Oh my.
I mean, come on.
It works. It works.
It's actually even more hilarious the more you start thinking about it. That character. So I mean, there's a lot you can do with this particular one. Some people have been recommending. So we have our Born, who's a writer, commenting, and they've made a few jokes, but so words that they're recommending: leaky cauldron, hot cinnamon bun, and our Born wrote a bake-off rom-com. So thank you, our Born, for.
Okay.
And obviously, you're a Harry Potter fan too. If you're putting something down for the leaky cauldron.
Got leaky, and then the object is the cauldron.
Yeah.
See, I went to first grade. I can diagram a sentence. Okay.
I like hot cinnamon bun too, because that can mean all sorts of things in internet culture.
Indeed. I'm wondering, cinnamon bun is a noun, like that's the object. You don't want to describe, because cinnamon technically in this case is an adjective, but
yes, but cinnamon bun is
like specifically,
or also known as cinnamon roll.
Yes, that's true.
Cinnamon roll would be one word. So just for the sake of this exercise, our Born, we might change this to cinnamon roll, which is.
It's okay. I have written the two words. It's fine.
Well, but then it also amuses me because a cinnamon roll in internet terminology can also be an adjective.
All right. So, so
So a hot cinnamon roll could be a noun or it could be two adjectives together. Sorry, I read way too much fan fiction.
okay.
And yes, so Erin, it seems like you might be having a little bit of difficulties.
Okay. I hope
it should clear up.
It's my own internet. I'm sorry.
It's okay. You know, you remember me trying to log into this. I couldn't get the laptop to work, so that's why I'm in the weird camera angle for having the iPad on. So we all have our issues.
All right. So go ahead and let us know, what would your character say makes them happy, sad, or angry? And you said you're going to work on Bucky Barnes. I think I'm going to work on the main character of my story, whose name is Marion, and he's a magic dude who has problems with his temper. So honestly, he tries not to get angry, because when he gets angry, things blow up. So I would say, of anybody, he'd probably be the person who best knows things that make him angry, because he's like, nope, gonna just avoid that.
Well, I mean, to me, that's it. The first question's an easy one for me for Bucky Barnes. What makes you happy? Steve. What makes you sad? Steve. What makes you angry? Steve. So, you know.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Yes.
Yeah.
I'm thinking, I mean, Marion likes food a lot. Food makes him happy.
Yeah.
Probably. Yeah, so and I think things that make him sad, I don't know, that might be too serious for this chat. There are a lot of them, but you know, it's
that's why you would get in a speed dating thing, you would get the flippant answers from Bucky. You would get the Steve,
Steve.
Instead of I was tortured and brainwashed by Hydra for 70 years, and that is really what makes me sad and angry. In a speed dating, in this scenario, no, it would totally be Steve.
All right, we'll do one more and then we'll move on to our first game. Do we have any answers from our
board? And you got any answers for us? Ooh, it looks like there is an answer.
Yes.
Let's see. Arborn's character Darcy enjoys baking. Ooh, is this Darcy Lewis by chance? Sorry. And because that is also one of my characters in my story too. So that would be funny. It's sad by burnt cakes. Aren't we all? Everybody is sad by burnt cakes. Yes. That is.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yes. I mean, it would go well with that hobby.
Yes, that would definitely go well with that hobby.
Okay, so let's skip the what you did last weekend and let's go down to the what would be your ideal holiday destination.
Ooh, that's a hard one.
I'd say Marion's ideal holiday destination would be, I think he likes camping. He'd like to go somewhere that was away from people, aside from possibly select people that he's okay with being around. But he'd want like lots of food and like, you know, beverages to tide him over. He's not, I mean, he does rough it like over the course of the story, but you know, it'd be more fun if there was plenty to eat and imbibe.
I think for Bucky, I think he just like his ideal vacation would not be necessarily a location, but more a can life just stop screwing me over and I can just spend a week or so in New York without anybody chasing me or me having to fight anybody, and I can go to a baseball game?
That'd be nice.
Oh, and Darcy's angered by a man thinking he knows everything in a kitchen. Yes. Yeah, that would make me angry too.
All right, so we'll keep an eye on the chat and see if we have any more answers coming in. Oh, Matilda, my character's ideal vacation would be a backpacking trip, sleeping in the woods. Yep, it would be very relaxing as long as everything worked out the way you intended.
Yes.
Or not really. Nature versus man. Yeah, that's the way, or woman. Or yes, my camping trips tend to end up a little bit too person versus nature.
And our Born says that Darcy's ideal vacation would be to Italy.
Taylor says that she likes to write scary. Well, yes. So then the camping trip would not go well.
No.
If you happen to be in a scary book or story, you don't want to go camping. There's a lot of things you don't want to do in a scary book or story, though. So
no, pretty much stay in your room. Don't answer your door. Don't answer your phone. And make sure you have like steel plating over your windows. And don't go to sleep.
Oh dear.
All right, Nightmare on Elm Street. Just thinking that far, you know.
All right, so let's go ahead and give Poetry Poker a try.
All right. Poetry Poker.
All right, so Poetry Poker is a game that I played with students while I was subbing, and I decided that it was so much fun that I decided to try it for fiction. And all of the people who have tried it with in person have thought it was a lot of fun. So it's a little less fun on the internet, but you know, it still works. So it's pretty easy. You draw 5 words. When you play in person, everyone draws 5 cards in the first round, and those cards are going to be your prompts to write with. And there's one more round, and you can discard as many words as you want, and then pull that many, but you're stuck with whatever you get that time. So you have to like think, am I going to discard this, or is what I get next time going to be even worse? So there's kind of that element to it. So since we're playing on the internet, we have that Quizlet link, and I made some flashcards. They only have words on one side. So if it says there's nothing, then just flip it over and there's a word on the other side. So if you go to that link and you go to the flashcard choice and then click shuffle. So let me try this. Oh. Back.
Work.
All right. So if you click flashcards and then you click shuffle, then write down the first 5 words. Oh, and it took me to the term. So just click over, turn it over if you're not getting a word.
Sorry.
So
I'm going like this. My computer's a little bit buggy, so I'm hoping it works.
Okay, so the 5 words I have are, and if you don't want to go to the link and get words, then you can just write with the words I have, but you're going to be stuck with whatever I get. And if I decide not to discard, then... All right, so I have ink. Seriously, it's going to do this every time. Hollow. Rustle. Drum. Melt. Ink, hollow, rustle, drum, melt. So that's 5. And I think I'm going to get rid of melt and drum. So I'll get 2 more words. Filigree. Why did I put that on there?
I was about to say, I think I would have wanted melt more than filigree.
Yep, that is the and filigree I actually have a definition for in case somebody is listening and they're like, Erin, why did you put that on there? And wood. Okay, so I
think I can do this on mine. I've got, I don't think I'm going to discard any. I've got toast, oak, palm, meat, and wrap.
Okay.
I think I could actually do that in one sentence.
That is, when you're doing it with middle schoolers, that is often what they say. They're like, and I'm like, that's not poetry. That is a sentence. True. But it's, I mean, we're not doing poetry poker. We're doing prose poker. So it's not, you know.
Yeah.
It's not quite. So. Oh, and Taylor says that she's got knife, rap, drum, chill, and curse. That sounds very good for what you're trying to write, actually. All right.
All right.
So if you have your words, again, if you're not bothering and you're following along with my words, or actually you could follow along with anybody's words if you see them written on the comments. I've got ink, hollow, rustle, filigree, and wood. So
I'm sorry. You did not get the luck of the draw on that one.
Hey, I mean, I put some of those like 50-cent words in there though, because I don't know. I like them. So no, they kind of, yeah, we'll see how it goes.
But yours don't really go together.
They don't. But you know what? I'm going to work on it. So you can either like use them as inspiration, or you can actually, I prefer to like actually use them in the piece. And of course you can change like the form. Like if you want to say something was hollowed out instead of hollow, then that's fine, you know, anything like that. If you want to call something inky instead of like using the noun ink, that's fine. So, all right. So we're going to write for 10 minutes. See you soon. me get this back up here. Welcome back.
So while we were writing, it looks like our Born shared their words, which were autumn, balmy, burn, creep, and dally. Now, if you would like to share what you wrote, then please do that, and we'd love to share it with everybody else.
Oh, wow. We've already got one from Taylor, so I will read that before I discuss mine. So Taylor says, the chill and the cold, damp forest air crawled down her spine into her bones. Matilda glanced around the fire. The glow of the embers only lit her tiny camp. She swirled back around her pack. The knife reflected a twin flame. The wind blew and Matilda wrapped the cowl of her coat around her neck tighter and burrowed herself down into her sleeping bag. 2 a.m. in the woods wasn't like being anywhere else, like being nowhere and somewhere all at the same time, so alone and yet so at home. Her eyes fluttered and she drifted off into a dream as a soft drumming plays. Matilda dozes as the drumming grows louder, closer, silence. Gasping, she wakes up and lunges across the sleeping sack to the knife. As soon as her hand reaches the worn handle, the wind whispers, the soil is cursed. Well, those words worked out for you. Goodness gracious. So how did you do, Jennifer?
I did good. I could actually have done it all in one sentence, but for the sake of, actually doing a story, I didn't. I did 4 of them in one sentence, though. So I did it.
That works.
Yeah. Although I did actually write a good bit. So Darcy was disappointed that Steve was called in for a meeting with the team on their morning off together. She heard the rustles from the next room and sighed, knowing he didn't have time for breakfast. Did you have to wear your blanket bomber jacket? You know how much I like to see you in it? Steve smiled as he walked up and smiled as he lightly kissed her on the lips. Oh, apparently I said smile there twice. That's the point. I want you to still be here when I get back. You know you don't need to do that. Here. She picked up the wrapped toast off the oak table and placed it in his palm. This should tide you over till you get there, but make sure Tony feeds you. And it goes on for a little bit longer just because I was on a kick, but...
that's... The idea is to get you writing, right?
Mm-hmm. So I've got a nice little scene in there.
Excellent. How many words did you get?
I hand wrote it, so I have no idea.
Yeah. That makes sense.
I got
179, which is pretty good for me. I don't do word wars well or word sprints. I'm not very fast usually. But so since you all want to know how I managed to get this word in here, okay, please have a seat, Captain Rada. Olympia Balnett said to Marion. She gestured to a small sofa with velvet upholstery and delicately carved wood in a gilded pattern that looked painted over with gold as it was, a little like the filigree jewelry that women had worn a decade earlier. Marion sat down on the piece of furniture that Miss Balnett had indicated. He pulled out his notebook and a pen. I don't suppose you have a spare jar of ink. Perhaps it would be wiser if you were to travel with a pencil, she said. But she turned to rustle in her wooden desk for a few moments. He eyed the study as she worked. Oh, sorry, I missed a couple of words because they're all done by now.
You got him.
This had, of course, been the reason that he had asked.
Cool. Taylor also said that she could not have done a poem, and Rachel Osborne on Facebook had her story too. Oh, it's R.R. Bourne. Heidi walked through the balmy forest in the middle of autumn. Who knew a place with trees, shade, and a bubbling brook could leave you sweaty, dehydrated, and completely turned around? Everything went wrong when she went to visit Chris's house and dally too long, but he had the best Christmas movie on, Die Hard. No one walked away from a retelling of John McClane's story. It was still daylight when she left his house, and somewhere she lost her way on the path between his house and hers. Everyone knew not to be in the forest at night. The fog crept along the ground as if it had legs, and the trees made a whistling noise. It sounded like taps, and other days like footsteps. She had to find a place to hide or she wouldn't survive. What's it smell? Did someone burn a cake? They might not can bake, but it might be the only safe spot.
Nice.
Yes. I liked how you worked the burning a cake into it. Nicely.
Yes. Excellent. Okay. So, wow, it's already 6:40.
Yes.
All right. So, our next game says, oh, I'm sorry. That's you. Go ahead.
Oh, that's okay. For our next game, we're going to start a scene with two characters arguing. You have 5 minutes to get started so they can be good and angry by the time we do our next set. Describe where they are, what they disagree about, and get some good back and forth going. You have 5 minutes.
The PowerPoint says 3 minutes.
Okay.
I messed. They don't match, but I think we can get people good and angry in 3 minutes. I probably can do that anyway. I don't know. I mean, how do you feel? 5? You'd
I
rather
can
go with
probably
5?
get it in under. I can start in the middle of the argument. I already have pretty much an idea for the. Mine's pretty serious. Of like, oh, my dead boyfriend is actually not dead, but I'm in love with this woman. How are we going to reconcile this? Yeah.
Yeah, that does kind of lend itself to some arguments right there. All
Yeah.
right, so are we ready for 3 minutes? Okay.
needed too much explanation. So no, I did not actually get them actually arguing. I was just getting to that point, but I've got the scene pretty well done in my head.
Okay. I just kind of jumped in the middle of the argument. The first line I put was, "Do you know what your problem is?" It's kind of fighting words there.
Well, I mean, I got close to it. I just had to do a little bit of internal monologuing before.
I understand. Like sometimes you gotta like know what the fight's about before you
Yeah.
can like jump into it. Okay, so now we're gonna add our twist. So can we see the next slide?
Okay.
So, oops, that PowerPoint didn't. Okay, anyway, roll a die, and your plot twist is the one you receive. So I've got my die here.
Let's see. I'm hoping for number 3 because I've already got an idea for that one.
Okay. So I got number 4. Someone sees or hears something that distracts them. So I actually had
Oh, I got 6. The fire alarm goes off or some other alarm is raised.
Okay, so it says, will someone interrupt them? Will your character suddenly see the clue to the MacGuffin on the bookshelf and get distracted? Which is the one I got. So, yep, the alarm is raised in yours. So, let us know what you got, and let's think about how we're going to work it in. So, we're going to write for 5 more minutes to, mess up this nice argument that we got going. Welcome back. So let us know how you did in the chat. How did you do, Jennifer?
I did okay. I had to finish up the argument in order to get the alarm blaring, but I got it done.
I was actually pretty happy with the way mine turned out. So, I mean, I don't think that the scene's going to be useful in my novel, but it's still pretty, like, I liked the way that things ended up. I didn't think it was going to work, but it did, actually.
Yeah, I think I could possibly use it. I think I'm going to go in a different direction in my novel, but it's definitely a possibility.
Would you like to share?
Sure. So Darcy felt like her world was cracking and breaking into tiny pieces for the second time in her life, but unlike the last time, this was sudden. But her coping mechanisms were the same. Well, you should go after him, and I guess I should give you this back. She was proud her hands didn't shake as she reached to take the ring off her hand. What? Darcy, no! I can't lose you. But you love him, Steve. You've always loved him. You told me that yourself. Yes, of course I love him, but that doesn't mean I don't love you too. Or did you not believe that when you accepted that ring from me? Steve shouted, gesturing toward the ring. You have so much history with him. Look, I don't know how this is going to work out, or if he will even still be interested in a sudden loud alarm started blaring and mauve lights flashed around the room. Damn it. Darcy, don't make decisions, please. I have to go. Go. I love you. Stay safe. He kissed her, not liking the tears that he saw. And that's where I ran out of time. Yeah. My plan is that she's still, after he leaves, going to take off the ring, pack up, and go. But, in this version of the scene, that's not end game, but that's for this scene. Yeah.
Yeah, Logan says high tension, which...
Yes.
Okay, so what I got was... You know what your trouble is, Zora said. Marion snorted. No, but I'm sure you're about to tell me. No one matters to you unless they're in crisis, Zora went on. Specs and I would do anything for you, but you don't seem to care about us, only strangers who have some magical dilemma. Are you saying that I should put your feelings over the safety of children in danger, Zora? I'm saying that sometimes I need you to be here with me, and instead you're... Marion held up his hand. Wait, hush. Do you smell that? Zora's eyes narrowed. I know you didn't just tell me to hush. Marion didn't respond. Instead, he put his ear to the wall. He made a gesture to turn on his magic sense. Zora, annoyed though she was, took a step back. What? Marion shook his head. I can't hear anything, but I smell it. Sour, like dark magic. We need to get out of here.
Nice. So, does anybody else want to share what they've got real quick before we race on to the little bit of tiny last game?
We can do the game part of the game, even if people have to write on their own.
Yes. All right. Well, okay, we've got somebody. Logan said precious cousins on YT says wow on YouTube. So thank you, precious cousins. Thanks for watching us on YouTube here.
Yeah, we're happy to have you.
Yes. All right, well, let's go ahead and move on to our last game.
All right, so here we go. Your character must suddenly deliver, and I put them all together, so now I have to pull the adjectives aside from the objects. Okay. So, using the word prompts given to us. So, your character must deliver a rickety. I hope that this is a word that goes with rickety. Of course, it's cinnamon roll. A rickety cinnamon roll to the library. It's always the library. I always pull the library for some reason. By next Tuesday. I hope that that's not optimal. We've got some more.
Well, with me, technically, rickety is another term for old. So I could go with the rickety cinnamon roll being Bucky, to the library by next Tuesday.
Okay, so we've got some comments before
Ooh,
we
have.
So we've got. Okay,
Yes, it was Darcy.
My scene was pondered on, but not created completely because I'm a newbie on my first book.
Oh, wow.
Okay, and RB says. Read Torah. So go ahead.
Read tore up this apron. When I let you into my house, I thought you were sensible. I thought you were sane. Obviously, you were neither. Heidi stared at the man slack-jawed. Everybody knows Die Hard is a Christmas movie, just like Hulk is the best Marvel character. Are you saying that Steve Rogers is not Earth's mightiest hero? Heidi rolled her eyes. Heck no, the Winter Soldier was better than him, not to mention cuter. Reed stomped over to the front door and held it open. The man lived in a tiny house. It wasn't like he had far to go. I think it's time for you to leave. Heidi folded her arms across his chest. You can't be serious. Out there in the fog? Now, please. Heidi walked slowly past a small bookcase. There were comic books stacked up, but the series of graphic novels had green covers. She touched the stacks and the comics blocking the full shelf of Hulk books. You sit on a throne of lies. And Precious Cousin continued, my female characters are arguing over a boy they both like, and one girl admits she loves him. And the other girl only likes him with passion.
That's rough.
That's okay. All right. So you guys, well, we are running out of time, and we don't actually have time to do the writing today on the rickety cinnamon roll to the library by next Tuesday. I hope that you guys all enjoyed this, and this is our last event for NanoWriMo, but we'll be having year-round writing programs. December, we'll be talking about publishing on December 14th. Check out our Facebook page and our website for all our upcoming events. Thank you for joining us, and happy writing. And you can continue writing stuff in the comments because we like seeing it, and other people do too.
Yeah, a lot of people do watch these after the fact, so just go ahead and leave your comments and people can see what you got.
Yes, that's always the best part. All right, well, thank you again for joining us, and we'll see you in December, which is just, tomorrow. Bye.